All right, Christopher Moore, our esteemed colleague, brings a wealth of experience to our community with 8 years of honorable service in the U.S. Marine Corps, followed by 24 years in the trenches of business development. Coach Chris embodies the qualities of leadership, resilience, and strategic vision. Recently, Chris has made a significant decision in his career to focus on coaching and supporting veteran business owners. This decision is not just about business, it's a heartfelt commitment rooted in his personal journey and profound respect for the sacrifices and the skills of our veterans. Today, Coach Chris will share insights into why supporting veteran-owned businesses is not only crucial for our economy, but also a testament to the spirit of entrepreneurship and resilience within the veteran community. Please join me this morning in welcoming Christopher Moore, who will present What the Vet, a thoughtful exploration into the challenges, successes, and the promising future of our veteran entrepreneurs.
Thank you. So Coach Chris here. As I asked some friends their thoughts for my 10-minute presentation, a couple shared, Chris, we've gotten to see a good portion of your professional side, but very little on the personal. Share more about you. Some of you know me as a coach, consultant, a trainer, a networker, a business strategist. Well, here we go. Let's get a little personal. I, much like some of you, really value family. To the left is my wife, Christy. Don't let the kind face and cosmic kitty shirt fool you. She's the charge nurse of an ICU, CCU floor at a local hospital. If you need to externally bypass your heart and your lungs and actually live, there isn't a better team in Oregon. Christy cultivates chimera African violets as her zen away from the chaos. I love her. She's an absolute rock star. Next is my son, Jaden. He's a 25-year-old aspiring filmmaker. He and two friends have a production company. They recently showcased 3 of their indie films at the Clinton Street Theater and recently won Best of Show at a 48-hour film festival. To the right is my oldest daughter, Hannah. She's not just the know-it-all teenager, but she's my social justice warrior. Notice the Gardens of the Galaxy shirt. How very fitting. Her superpower is her compassion for others. The last but certainly not least is Megan. She is my studious, straight-A grunge rocker. If you were raised in the 90s with grunge, I promise she'll teach you a thing or two or possibly 10. On the other side of the fence, in that picture of Megan, is actually Kurt Cobain's last home in Seattle. We traveled to different locations in the Northwest that have historic relevance to all things grunge. I also felt as though I had to include a few honorable mentions. First, our fur baby Zoe. She's an American Staffordshire Terrier rescue from the Oregon Humane Society. Her hobbies are cuddle, eat, cuddle, sleep, cuddle, repeat. The boss man, Diego, he's our oldest furry child. We rescued him as a young feral kitten living with his brothers and sisters on a woodpile in Sherwood, Oregon. He takes it upon himself to train any newcomers, human, canine, and also feline. Boots, he's Mr. Sneak Attack. He loves bags and boxes left on the ground to hide in and pretend that he's going to sneak attack the next living creature passing by. But this is all in his head. He's totally harmless. The last is my father. He's always been my hero. When they say the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree, well, he's my tree. I was the spoiled Gen X latchkey only child kid from a lower middle class divorced family in Oregon. Whew, that's a mouthful. And I quickly learned that I needed to choose my own path. I was very active in sports and miscellaneous hobbies, but my passion was theater. I did 13 shows in high school, and in my senior year, I was voted the one most likely to go to LA and New York to pursue an acting career. I guess you can say that I'm a contrarian, though. I don't always do what's expected of me. I went into the military recruiters in January of my senior year. I aced the ASVAB, that's the Armed Services Vocational Battery, and marched into the Air Force recruiter. He saw my scores, opened up a book, and he said, with scores like that, you can do whatever you want. But something was missing. I went to the Navy and the Army recruiters, and their answer was the same. But something was still missing. Then like a bolt of lightning, or maybe just some great marketing, a commercial kept resonating in my brain. The few, the proud, the Marines. I went into the Marine recruiter's office. He gave the same response, but followed with, if you can make it past boot camp. He had me hook, line, and sinker. I knew I was up for the challenge. And let's face it, the Marines have the best uniforms, but there was a problem. I was only 17 and I couldn't enlist. All right, I know in these pictures I look like I'm 12, but anyway, I had to use my debate skills and I got my mother to enlist me at 17. It was a real shock for her and my father. I went to boot camp June 19th, 1990, my mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. This was a month and a half before Iraq invaded Kuwait. A real sobering reality for this young Marine and his family. There was much that I learned in the Marines: honor, courage, commitment, hard work, discipline, leadership, communication, all values that have played a role in my personal and professional development. Let's fast forward many years after my time of service, and for sake of time, I'm not going to get into the decades of business development, multiple certifications as a coach. It's all there on my website under About Coach Chris. I am a business coach. And let me clarify, I don't coach businesses, but people that own businesses. And it's easy to focus on business plans, strategic plans, marketing plans, and all that busy business stuff. But often they are missing something vitally important. What's that one thing? Hey, I'm just curious, by show of hands, how many of you have a business plan? Well, that's not it. How many of you have a life plan? This is a plan to intentionally grow in areas of family, friends, finances, fitness, faith, and fun. You see, you are so much more than your business. These 6 areas, if not in check, they will affect your business. And issues in your business will affect these 6 key areas. You must have a life plan. Life is a fun journey that deserves, and dare I say, demands a plan. Lastly, you may have heard me reference myself as the veteran business coach. While I can and do coach clients in a wide variety of industries, sizes, and locations, I have specifically chosen to focus on business owners and leaders who are prior service veterans. And you might be asking why. And there's 2 primary reasons. There's a need in the marketplace, and 2, the camaraderie, or another way to put it, culture. Let's briefly take a look at the marketplace. What's the total number of veteran-owned businesses? Put those in the chat. The answer? C. 1.95 million businesses that reference themselves as a veteran-owned business, representing, as we saw earlier, 1.3 trillion in revenue.
2 minutes.
Thank you. Last question. Next, and I promise the last, what's the total veteran-owned business employers in the U.S.? Put that in the chat. Only 427,000 businesses. Less than 25% are employers. This means that there's 1.5 million or more veteran-owned small businesses that could use my help. Let's quickly move on to culture and camaraderie. The most important driver for focusing on veteran-owned business for me is the shared culture, or in the military, what we refer to as camaraderie. In the sales process, you've heard the importance of building a rapport. You see, being a vet, working with vets, I don't have to really build rapport as much because there's a mutual respect and rapport that exists just for being a veteran. This is based on having shared culture, which includes shared values, shared language, shared practices, shared stories. When you introduce vets, the conversation will simply go something like this. What branch? What was your MOS? Military Occupational Specialty. Where did you serve? When you get 2 Marines together, they may greet each other as, hey, Marine, devil dog, leatherneck, jarhead. During the conversation, you might hear an exuberant gesture or agreement of excitement, hoorah! And rather than yes, you'll likely hear affirmative or roger that. And at the end of the conversation, you may hear a cordial yet possibly obnoxious semper fi. This camaraderie encompasses all branches. Once a Marine, always a Marine. You can take the man out of the Marine, but you can't take the Marine out of the man. Who are great referrals for me? It's real simple. Are they a veteran and are they owner of a small business? Please don't try to pre-qualify them based off of size, industry, revenue, location, and certainly not based off of whether you feel they have a need or not. Most business owners do. They just aren't out there vocalizing to everyone that they have problems or challenges. So who do you know that's a veteran? And do they own a small business? Let me give you a quick sample of something you might say or email. Hey, I'm just curious. I have a great business coach that I work with who's a Marine. He loves connecting with amazing veteran business owners. Are you open, or would that make sense to connect you? I'm also interested in connecting with veteran-based nonprofits. If you'd like to connect, scan the QR code, reach out. Thank you, and Semper Fi.